here at the central square in the Palestinian city of Ramallah, and I'm actually here with former minister from the Palestinian Authority, Dr. Ashraf Al-Ajramim. And Dr. Ashraf, I'm going to ask you very simply, what do you think will be the response from the Palestinian Authority if they do go through with plans to annex parts, if Israel does go through with plans to annex parts of the West Bank?
The Palestinian leadership will declare the Palestinian state on the Palestinian occupied territories, and will also take a decision to have constitutional steps on this aspect, to be an independent state under occupation, and to also demand an international recognition of this status of the Palestinian state.
Do you think we will see a difference between the reaction coming from the Palestinian people versus from the Palestinian Authority?
I think the Palestinian people will go ahead to maybe to oppose this step on the ground. Maybe it will be an intifada or maybe clashes with the Israelis. I don't know really, but it depends on the reaction within the Palestinian people, because the situation is full of upset and disappointment, frustration. The Palestinian people see that the whole world didn't maybe respond positively to what the Palestinians demand, especially to have an independent state and to be free from the occupation.
If we do see somewhat of a violent response coming from the Palestinian people, will the Palestinian Authority be able to contain that response?
I don't think that the Palestinian Authority will be able to contain, for example, a huge wave of violence within the Palestinian people, because there is a situation now that the Palestinian Authority becomes weaker than it was before. Especially now the Palestinian Authority doesn't pay salaries for employees and doesn't even respond or to the demands of people. So it is difficult to keep people silent or calm in this stage.
My last question, do you think that the Palestinian Authority will try to lobby European countries to take punitive measures against Israel?
Yes, of course. I think the main approach for the Palestinian leadership is to put pressure on the Israeli government, especially from Europe and the United Nations. And I think that what we hear from the European countries, especially from France, Germany and others, it also have something hopeful for Palestinians, that there will be a pressure and there will be consequences of any unilateral Israeli step.
Dr. Al-Ajramim, thank you very much for your time.